Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, what I'd like to do is something a little different, which is to walk through the technical design of the 1198 floor standing speaker. And so what I have here is my 3D CAD model in SolidWorks. And so in this video, I'd like to just walk through the breakdown on the technical design and look at some of the features. And this will be in an effort to help you understand this speaker further so that you can be confident when you make a purchase for this flat pack. It's going to be available as a flat pack so that you understand what you're getting into and what's required to assemble the speaker, and helps you identify and understand some of the performance and specifications that this speaker will offer. So let's get started. So this is a mass-loaded transmission line floor standing speaker, and it uses the latest in woofer technology from Purify, which is the PTT 6.5 woofer. And so I have already pulled up here the woofer from Matasound. You can see it here. It lists for $369 US each. And so this is a very special woofer that features very low distortion and very high X-Max. So this speaker will have a very high maximum SPL capability of around 105 dB before hitting the 1% distortion threshold. And so to complement the woofer, I've selected the SB Acoustics Satori TW29 beryllium dome tweeter. And so we're removing the mounting flange with these 3 screws, and we are putting it in my ES horn. And so you'll see from a previous project or the previous offering, which was a stand mount version, you can see here what the end result will look like, except it'll have the beryllium. And then this is a SB Acoustics 5-inch woofer, and so this baffle is designed to accommodate up to 6.5-inch diameter. And so this is the same baffle width. It'll just continue down with the floor standing version, and then obviously the woofer will be bigger, and then you'll have the beryllium dome instead of the soft dome tweeter, which is used in the 1159. So let's look at the inside of this cabinet. So you can see here the back is removable, and it's using furniture screws, and we'll get into that in a second. So if I hide this side panel, you'll be able to see the inside of the enclosure. And so the tricky part with solid hardwood is that you have to accommodate expansion and contraction due to changes in humidity. And so to achieve that, the baffle is not actually glued to the rest of the enclosure. It's a sandwich design where we have these tension rods running through, and it's keeping everything secured. And the idea here is that it's a friction fit with a cork gasket, and so if there is any expansion or contraction, the baffle is able to do that independently from the rest of the enclosure, which is constructed of 24mm Baltic birch plywood. And so we're simply facilitating some flexibility there in that. Otherwise, you could risk cracking of the baffle if it's not able to expand, and there'll be stress induced into the baffle as a result of it not being able to move. Okay, so how we have it here is that the threaded rod is going into some threaded inserts, which are meant for hardwood. And so these threaded inserts are installed, and I'll show you here what that looks like. This is what the threaded insert looks like, and the flat pack will come with these already installed. And so how the assembly procedure would go is that you would install the threaded rods, you would install the drivers to the baffle, and then that as an assembly would get installed into the cabinet. And so the threaded rods would go through this intermediate plate. You would install these nylock nuts, and it's simply to provide an airtight seal between the front chamber and the rear chamber. And you can see here, this is the path for the transmission line. The driver sound wave will go through medium density fill inside the cabinet, and it'll be terminated at this outlet port here, at the back of the enclosure. And so just going back to the threaded rods, this is a barrel, furniture barrel, and it's a copper finish to the barrel, and so that's how that provides a really good surface area there to secure the rear panel, and then there'll be a gasket, cork gasket material all the way around to seal that. So it's located in 8 locations there, so it's pretty straightforward. And then you have your speaker terminals there, and so the flat pack does not include the binding post. You'd have to provide that yourself. So I'll just do an exploded view even more, just so you can see what this is looking like. So you can see the beryllium dome tweeter has the flange removed, and then the dome, or the surround on the dome tweeter, fits into a very precise pocket, and I'll do a section view so you can see that further. So this is looking at a cutaway view of the entire assembly, and so if you look in here, you can see the surround, and it's giving enough clearance there for what the driver, for the movement of the dome at high SPL. It's providing enough clearance there. And then you can see the ES curvature, the exponential spiral curvature, how it moves the sound wave away, and it's uninterrupted by any abrupt physical objects that might cause edge diffraction. So it's using this special curvature both in the vertical and in the horizontal. You can see here the Purify woofer and how it's mounted. The surround here on the Purify woofer extends as a rubber material out, and you can actually still use the provided gasket from Purify on the front face to provide an airtight seal. And then so the driver is secured using these number 6 screws with a fender washer, and it will press onto the back side of the woofer and form that airtight seal at the front of the driver instead of the rear. So the tweeter is located using dowels, and so there'll be wood dowels pressed into this in 3 locations, and I'll exit the section view so that you can see. So there's 3 dowels that locate the tweeter as far as position on the baffle, and then there's a clamp bar with number 8 wood screws that secure the driver in place. So the reason I went with wood screws here is so that you would never be able to get the screws very tight. You just want a light pressure on the driver, and so the screws will not come loose because they're screwed into pilot holes into the hardwood, and so vibration will not cause the screws to come loose. If I had used machine screws there, similar to like these threaded rods, then there would be risk of it eventually coming loose because you wouldn't be able to get a really good amount of torque on the nut there. So that's the reason for the wood screws there. So this is a 1/4 wavelength medium fill transmission line, and so I'll be featuring more of the performance, the actual measured electrical and acoustical performance in future videos, but this will help you understand this as a product. And if you are interested, then you can visit my website. I'll put a product link in the description and you can check it out. Thank you and have a great day.